We are going to go into the Supreme Novices hurdle. We're going to chat about that in a second. But just in general, is there any Cheltenham fancies for you guys?
Certainly one of them for me we'll talk about later, which is the new one.
Yeah.
Besides that, obviously, Silvinaco Conti is an anti-post bet that I've had. And Cider Grugy, if the ground stays heavy, if we're going to have a dodgy February in terms of rain.
I'm with you on Cider
Grugy.
Grugy. There's so many question marks about Sprinter Zach.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You've got one maybe at the bumper?
Well, no, I'll talk about the other one first that I've mentioned on the show before. Obviously, I'm very sweet on the chances of King's Palace for the Albert Bartlett. The form, okay, he's done everything very
Captain
impressively. Yeah, but I would say obviously Creepy hasn't backed the form from the Cheltenham run. The Tizard horse, the grey horse, I can't remember the name at the moment, I think it's Master something. He's run okay as well. We obviously come behind Captain Cutter.
I've heard good things about this King's Palace all over, social media.
He's not really a big price now. He was obviously before he won at Cheltenham. He was 16 to 1, but he's now down to like 4s.
Hyphen?
Oh, well, I've heard that I've heard that Vukovar is a very promising horse, and whichever race he goes for, I might have a small bet.
Okay, well let's now have a look at the Supreme Novices, which is on the day one. This is probably, out of the ones we're going to cover, the hardest one to predict, because there's a race at Leopardstown on Sunday, which basically one or two are running up against. Sandy? View?
Yeah, this race sort of revolves around Willie Mullins, as many races do this year. You say about the Deloitte Novices hurdle on Sunday at Leopardstown, he's obviously got the Tour entered Fahine, which is probably likely to go for the Neptune, and Renetti obviously fell last time out. You've also got the Tallow Tank that's obviously got an entry for the race as well. Touch on the Tallow Tank, he's officially been rated 150 after his win at Leopardstown last time. He stayed on quite strongly, and you certainly need that for a race like the Supreme. The trainer did cast, Philip Fenton did cast concerns that could have problems going left-handed, but they seem to be squashed now after his last win. See,
I was initially impressed with that performance, but when I look back on it today, it didn't convince me that it was a Supreme Novice
You don't
winner.
just need speed in the Supreme, though. You need to be able to stay. It's proven year after year. The Tallow Tank is actually half brother to a horse called Many Clouds of Donald McCain.
Yeah.
I think his target is going to be the RSA. Yeah. So it just proves from the breed and obviously different sires. But
he's actually rated 145.
Was he? Sorry,
Over chasing is actually 138 on hurdles when he was here.
He knows his stuff. Let's just, obviously talk about that one. Wicklow Brave won at the weekend. That would be on everyone's lips at the moment, priced around about 12 to 1. Do you think that's the most likely of the Mullins horses to go for the Supreme?
You're second guessing at the moment. Also, ground's going to play a big part in it. At the moment, obviously, we just know all the heavy ground form. If it does come up good, I'm sure Willie will be swapping and changing. And there's other trainers as well, like Paul Nicholls obviously got Irvine in the race. All these wins have come around. Two of his wins have come around Ascot. He's got no form at Cheltenham at the moment. You don't know if he's going to handle the track.
With Irvine, he was pulled out at the weekend.
Irving.
Pulled out at the weekend. What do you think?
Well, we know he was supposed to run in this weekend in the Betfair hurdle. Well, I think he's obviously got Irish Saint in the race and Far West. I'd say that he's probably concerned about the heavy ground before Cheltenham for a youngster. It's so difficult this time of year for the Supreme. It's not.
Well, I think one's popped up today, really. You're looking for something that's going to be going left-handed.
Don't say First Mohican.
No, give us a chance. You're looking for something that's doing a stiff 2 miles, left-handed. As you say, you can't pick the ground at the moment. Versatile on ground, or arguably, will go better in slightly testing ground, but will be versatile in terms of ground. I think Alan Trainer's a trainer that will be coming into form. Last week, maybe he's had green shoots. Valdez has turned up, and going into Cheltenham, I think Alan King might just be able to get his stable prepared, and it would be lovely for an ex-Henry Cecil horse to have a winner at Cheltenham. This First Mohican, it wasn't up on the board there with the runners as was just put up there on the screen. But I think that he should be in there around at the moment 16, 20 to 1, bit of each way money around First Mohican. I'm looking at horses that are in form at the moment and are improving at the moment. I don't want to look at form of 2 months ago and say, wasn't he brilliant 2 months ago? He's brilliant now. That's his first go over hurdles.
The run that Tallow Tank won, I think it was the Royal Bond. That's been won by Howard Can Fly, Jet Ski, Isterbrack.
My concerns was at Kempton that he wouldn't handle the track, and he didn't. But it was almost too bad to be true that day. And with the liquidator, you can almost give him a second chance, and the betting suggests that because he's still only about 20 to 1 in the market. So as much as that was such a it was too bad to be true, and I do believe that Tom Scudden was almost trying to use him for stamina, and it didn't suit the horse.
Yeah,
I think he was actually better off.
Well, you go back, but you do go back to the Cheltenham victory. I think it was around about New Year's Day. That didn't tell too much because it was a 3 or 4 runner event, and Ferguson had another one which wasn't suited to the ground. So I'm not convinced about the Liquidator. We're going to move on, but is there anything you can pin your...
Well, I'm just back to First Mohican. Yeah. Obviously really interesting, when a decent horse on the flat comes and, has a go at hurdling. And, he finished 16 lengths ahead of a horse called Broughton, who was also entered in the Supreme.
Yeah.
First Mohican's made his debut today. Alan King really...
The horses that he beat in that race, Electrolyzer, the Ferguson horse Retrieve, he's beaten Fairlock, the Lucy Wadham horse, by 5 or 6 lengths. It wasn't easy. Yeah. He's done it going away in the end, and it's first time over hurdle. He's only going to improve. I just think 16 to 1 is a bit. The only question mark is, will he go there and will he run in that way? In the race, who knows? But at the moment.
So, would you ever bet on the Supreme yet, or would you just wait to Sunday?
You just couldn't have a bet on it at the moment. There's too many concerns with ground entries. It's just a race to
Monday. We'll have a better idea.
Yeah, you'll have a much better on Monday.
Okay.